Okay, over to you, Mr. Henry. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us what you want to talk to us about this evening.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually trying to put on my camera, but it's not working. But I think I can speak. My name is Henry Ojenya. I'm a passionate mental health professional. And when I say passionate, I mean that I have been affected, not personally, but also I've had mental health conditions. In my family, I've had people, in my extended family exhibit certain mental health conditions, and my friends around me have noticed also. So I have passion around this field, and I'm excited today to put in my submissions and also to share a bit of the experiences I've had in the field work, working around mental health, around mental health reform, advocacy on mental health, and also provision of treatment, quality treatment, and standardized treatment and care to persons that are struggling with certain mental health conditions. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. We've listened to him. Over to you, Rebecca Ede. Would like to meet you live in person and tell us a bit about what you intend to share with us here today. Kindly unmute yourself, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Ede. Like you heard earlier, I'm a consultant, and I'm one of the training providers too with PLage Metaverse. One of the things that I'm going to talk about is preparing people to travel. A lot of people want to travel, but the honest truth is that people don't know why they want to travel. They just want to travel because everybody's saying they want to travel, they want to japa. But what are you traveling for, and how are you going to go about it? So I'm going to enumerate the step-by-step things that you need to do so that if you travel, you will not just travel for the sake of it, you will have experiences and you will have value for what you're traveling for. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. So we'll be listening to us more in the class. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca Ede. Yeah, I just read of someone's post saying, for those of us taking public health, mental health, and caregivers, how we're going to participate in 3 Zoom. I mentioned earlier before we started that this Zoom is a tripartite Zoom that is covering the 3 courses, and that once you join, you take advantage of being able to listen to a talk on mental health, public health, and caregivers. For public health, will be a bit silent for certain reasons, but you can be rest assured that everything you know and you've read will be covered up here. So if whether you are doing public health, mental health, or caregivers, I think this is just an opportunity for you to listen to join this program and get good benefit of why you need to be here. Okay, Mr. Henry, we'll be moving on to you immediately. In a very simple and clear terms, like we said, we've done all we need to do in the class. There's nothing much we might need to be listening to about mental health here. But as an expert of the field, it will be very, very nice and to be a privilege to listen to you talk about mental health. What is mental health? Is mental health all about mental illness or ailment? What is mental health? What is mental health psychology? I mean, counseling. Who is a mental health counselor? What does it take to become a mental health counselor? And just tell us what you want to tell us about mental health. Let's even listen to you after going through the class on WhatsApp. Let's listen to an expert on the ground tell us about mental health. You just have 15 minutes to do that, sir. Over to you. Okay, Ojenya was sent out, but let me admit him again. The network threw him out. Okay, Mr. Henry, are you on? Mr. Henry. Hello, Mr. Henry.
Yes, I'm on. Now I can hear
Okay,
you,
yeah,
sir.
welcome back. I didn't know you were not. Anyway, you're back. We just said that we would like to listen to you. We've done everything we need to do about mental health as far as the topic is concerned on WhatsApp, and we just need to listen to you and hear you talk about mental health. What is mental health? Is it all about having mental ailments, or is it all about people running around misbehaving or things like that? And what do you mean by the word mental health counselor? And how do we become one? Where is the starting point? Things like that. So for those of us doing level 2 mental health care, uh, where do we find ourselves? What is the prospect of this profession? How do people come into this profession and all that? So just throw light on all these areas. Um, for the next 15 minutes, I'm sure you'll be able to do justice to that. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm excited to share with the class members that are here. Well, two things for me would stand out when we talk about mental health. So, we talk about mental and then the health, which is talking about the brain and how the brain interprets messages and all. So, but mental health basically is a state of well-being where an individual is able to realize the potentials that they have within them. And of course, they're able to become productive and contribute to themselves as individuals first and also to their communities at large. So when an individual is at a state where he or she is well and is contributing positively and handling all the stressors of life, because life comes with its stresses, with stresses every day. You wake up, if you're in Lagos, you experience stress. You're trying to go abroad, you experience stress. Some people struggle with visa interviews and all. They are stressors. You want to move forward in life, you experience stress. In your family, you have family members that are nagging and all. But are you able to cope with those stresses of life or not? If you're not able to cope with the stresses of life, then we would say that you are not in a good mental health state. So there might be good mental health or there might be poor mental health. So how do I become a mental health counselor? Knowing that people need to be in a particular state so that they are well and they're able to cope with life. So as a counselor, you are helping those individuals, identify the capacity that they have within them, empowering them so that they are able to handle the stresses of life that comes with living. So you are not, a counselor is not dishing out instruction to people, neither is a counselor having all the solutions to all the problems of the people, because I know that sometimes we have counselors that feel that they can solve people's problems. So you are not solving the people's problem. All you're doing is empowering the people, building their capacity, strengthening them, making them able to solve their problems. And sometimes you bring them to the point where they deal with the disparities that they have. So you look at someone is handling a certain situation that's really stressful to that person. You share with the person, the experiences, the way people have handled those situations in time past, and the people are able to make discrepancies. They look at what is their situation, and in their context, what would they pull out and how do they handle? So how do I become a counselor? I need to be trained. So that's why PLage is granting you the opportunity, to become a mental health counselor. I've had one-on-one several experiences with people that have been that had gone through the PLage program, and of course they are doing very well in their sphere as mental health counselors. We've had some, even come over for internship, and they are able to do well, through internship. So knowledge gained and then experience gained also strengthen you to become a good mental health counselor. So you need knowledge on mental health first, and that knowledge will now grant you opportunity to build experiences around it. People would ask me, oh, I'm not a psychologist, so how do I fit into mental health? I said that once you have a training, you have a bit of knowledge around mental health, you're able to provide support to people. There are different spheres of mental health. Like I shared, there's mental health reform, there's advocacy, and other aspects of mental health, there's treatment. So you might not be that core, into as a psychiatrist also, but you can be a counselor, you can provide help to someone, you can provide support to somebody. Even children that are experiencing several situations, you can provide that care to them. So you can be in the care profession even without you, becoming a core scientist or going through any specific course or degree course, but you can have a professional training around that, and you can actually do well. So these are the process I think that will be able to. So what are the prospects around mental health? It's huge, it's alarming. The mental health situation is alarming. The global statistics has shown that we have 970 million people, globally experiencing mental health problems. And of course, that is telling us that even in Nigeria, the World Health Organization in 2022 have shared that we have 40 million Nigerians experiencing mental health conditions over the 200 and something million we have. So if 40 million out of 200 and something million is experiencing mental health condition, it's alarming just for Nigeria alone. Then imagine globally. Now, that is we in Nigeria, not even we are able to cope with normal life stresses. So internationally, that statistic is alarming. 970 million, only Nigerians are contributing only 40 million to that statistic. So we have over 900 and something million people experiencing mental health condition who will need care, who will need support, who will need someone to talk to them. There's something called talking therapy where you are able to find somebody and talk about your situation. Now, in the global space, in the international space, you are able to you will notice that many people are actually experiencing what we call separation anxiety. They're experiencing a lot of depression. There's anxiety itself. And also there's post-traumatic stress disorder. You look at what is happening in the world today. Look at what is happening in Israel. I think we're already struggling with Russia. And we're already struggling with Russia. We are not done with that now, Israel. So we have, a lot of traumatic experiences. There's war, there's conflict, around the world. So there's prospect around even counseling on mental health, and also, father and mother not also putting up with their responsibility anymore, because there's a fast growing economy, a fast growing lifestyle. The internet has come. People are already glued to the internet. They are not glued to people. So there's a lot that a mental health professional can do. A mental health counselor has a lot of prospect in the school system, in the educational system. You can provide counseling to students, who would need direction or who need support so that they're able to make the right choices in school. In mental health reform, there are a lot of policies that need to put in place. There are policies that have not been adopted. There are policies who have not been domesticated around the world. So in mental health reform, you have a lot to do in advocacy. There's a lot of research gap, a lot of research gap in Africa, in other nations, a lot of research gap. So if you are able to also provide research around mental health areas, there's a lot. Recently, I've been getting a lot of updates, concerning mental positions for mental health counselors, across the globe. And on LinkedIn, they've been sharing a lot of that, and you will notice that this is an emerging issue. So mental health is emerging in Nigeria, but globally there is a lot, and I feel that if you're in this space, you are in the right place. So you will also notice that 14.3% of death globally is for mental health conditions. So people are committing suicide, there's substance use disorder, and all, which would also create a lot of threats to life, risks to well-being, and also I think mental health, I'm saying, and I'm certain that mental health, mental health is, someone said they can't hear me. So, but if you can hear me, please say you can hear me. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, thank you.
I hear you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I think I just have a few minutes to go now. I have about 3 minutes just to wrap this. But I would need to say that people would ask certainly, or the fear majorly that people have is they feel that because I have not had any experience, or I've not had any basic training or degree training in mental health, I might not be able to function in this position. But I would say that I've had also a very close experience with someone who did a course entirely, did English, studied English, and that person was able to delve into mental health, and that individual is doing very well. So there's prospect for anyone. In fact, I was sharing recently with a friend, and I said that people who enter into mental health, space right now would smile and would be really happy that they did at this point, because it's an emerging issue, and every day, every time when you get to interact with people, you will notice that they are people who are dealing with a lot of stuff, and they will need help and they will need support. So mental health is a state of well-being where an individual is able to realize their potentials, and become contributing members of the society and handle stresses of life, cope with stresses of life, without breaking them down. To become a mental health professional or a mental health counselor, you will need training in that field. And of course, you'll be exposed to some experiences on the field that will support you to become better in handling the issue. The prospect I've shared in mental health is really large, and it's important for us to pick interest in the areas where we have interest in. If you have interest in research, in treatment, in mental health reforms, in advocacy, you can pick interest around that area and begin to work in building your experiences around that area. I hope this helped.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've just covered mental health in just a few minutes. That was an excellent presentation. I want to believe that we've all been carried along, and for those of us that look at text, they prefer listening.
Thank you, sir.
To audio, I want to believe this is going to do a lot of justice for us. Rebecca, before we come to you, I think it will be better we take questions for Mr. Henry, so that we know we've concluded a topic or a chapter, then we'll move on to the next. Okay, Mr. Henry. We'll be taking questions, maybe just a few questions. And if you have any question, please raise up your hands, and then let's pass the question on to Mr. Henry. You just raise up your hand if you have any question. Sarah Eteng, who is the next person? Ubani, Uchua, Bethel, Amechi, and who again? Okay. Sarah Eteng, please, when you want to ask your question, just make it very, very brief and straight to the point. It's just 1 minute, and that's all. Okay. What are you, madam? Just unmute yourself. I can't see the button here. I think it's network. Can you see the unmute button? Sarah Eteng. Okay, while she's sorting herself out, please, I need to remind everybody here that this program is made up of persons from various African countries, not just Nigerians. Right now, Ghana is beginning to overtake us in numbers, and some other African countries, Zambia, Kenya, Ethiopia, and all that. Meanwhile, we are also sorting out the payment issue for these other African countries. So in a matter of days or weeks, that will be a thing of the past. Everybody can pay for their certificates. Okay, since Sarah, I think, is not able to sort herself out, we'll move over to the next person. Sarah, I think you might just type your message. That's another way out. Just type your message, please. Okay. Ubani Ochua Deborah, what's your question, please?
My question is that I haven't heard from the speaker about mental health. I just wanted to find out, quite understand all his speech, and I just want to find out if, for instance, one has issue with forgetful issues. For instance, you read something, you forget easily, or somebody told you something, you forget easily. I just want to know if it's part of mental health.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for asking. I would say that forgetfulness it's not you having issues with mental health, but it might be a symptom of a mental health condition. So maybe someone who has used drugs before, that's not the only reason. Someone also who is experiencing depression, the brain might just, or someone who is having PTSD, the brain might just want to shut down some information or some memory at that point to help that person deal with that problem. So that might be one. Other reasons, someone might have something called dementia. It can come with forgetfulness too. So forgetfulness alone might not be someone experiencing a mental health condition, but it might be a symptom that might direct you to understand that that person has maybe a mental health condition. Yes, thank you, Shawanu, for also adding to that. So memory loss could just be a symptom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Beltel Amechi, I hope we've answered your question. Obane Ochunwa Debra. Have we answered your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Beltel Amechi.
Okay. Good evening.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, over to you.
All right. My question is, let me put it this way: someone who studied mental health, and when the person is passing through mental issues, or should I put it this way, is passing through trauma, how would he help himself, maybe before expecting external help? Just like first aid, if it's in the medical field. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Henry.
Okay, so how can someone who is experiencing, who is having a traumatic experience, help himself or help herself, before he can get help, So one of the things that we will talk about is what we call the 4 Ds, drink water, discuss, delay, and all. So, but one of the things I would say is that the person should be able to talk about it, right? If it's not really at that point, if the person is able to talk about it or express the feeling or vent, talk about it to someone in a manner that that the person is able to understand, or the person is able to, even if the person will not give you a listening ear, but talk about it. You can talk about it to yourself or to someone else, and all. And also, of course, we would also share that the person should be able to sleep, get good sleep. Sleep is a very good remedy. Get good sleep, drink water. Water is really important to strengthen that person's capacity to handle situations. Remember, we said that when we said that mental health, we say it's a state of well-being where an individual is able to cope with normal stresses of life. So when a stressor hits you, what you need to identify is, how do I cope? So you identify the coping mechanisms, and there are things that helped you to be well. So you can put up a toolbox, also that can help. You can identify the things that make you happy, the things that make you strong, the things that make you better. That's for one. Of course, you have to get to a point where you need to now talk to a professional. You might find yourself in a situation where it just happened and you're unable to reach out to a professional. You might be in a rural area, there's no network and all. So this is what we're sharing that can become like a first aid. But of course, you get to a point where you need to talk to a professional that can help you and support you with other toolboxes. But I would say that prevention is really important. So why wait for a traumatic experience to hit you? So you can take preventive approaches, identify the toolboxes that you have, or find toolkits that can help you become well and strengthen your mental well-being. Sleep, exercise, eating good food, going out to have good social relationship, you know, staying out, not using alcohol or other drugs would also strengthen your mental health. So do preventive methods then before the traumatic experience hits anyone, because life is so traumatic and we don't know when we can be hit by a traumatic experience. Thank you. I also got someone asking, I don't know if I can answer, so on the chat box, someone shared, Engineer Margaret.
Okay.
Yeah. So she asked, how can we identify someone who has a mental health condition? And I think that we have already shared that, saying that mental health is when a person, or mental health is a state where the person is able to cope with normal stresses of life. So if that individual is not able to cope with normal stresses of life, you can identify. There are other symptoms, and I will share that. You can go to what we call the DSM-5. DSM-5 gives you you can also download that. You can go on Google and check for DSM-5, you know. So it's a version that helps you identify, it's diagnosis statistical manual that will help you identify what is a symptom for what mental health condition. How do I identify someone who has depression? How do I know I have depression? You will see an outline of the criteria that will require you to know when someone has depression. Yes, so that's how you can identify. But some people with mental health condition, you might not be able to identify them. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Henry. Please, before we go ahead, I want to believe that Bethel Amechi, your question has been answered.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Really, thank you.
Yeah, for persons on the chat box, please, we strongly advise that you don't send responses to questions that others are asking. You are not a trainer, you are not an expert here, and we will not allow that to happen. And if we get that happening again, we'll exit you from the program. It's not proper that you come to someone's program and you start taking over the role of the owner of that program by responding to other students. If you're an expert, then just sit down in this program and participate perfectly well. You are welcome, but not to take over the program by responding to others. It will not happen the second time because you'll be exited. Thank you. For someone asking if this program is for caregivers, yes, this program is for both caregivers, mental health, and public health students. We have someone that we're talking about, talking to caregivers that intend to relocate out of the country. Why this is not why we do these courses, but we understand that a lot of students also intend to use this program to also support themselves to travel. However, may I also inform you that level 2 is not enough for you to apply for a program to leave this country. Level 3 is what you need. So let's make it clear. Level 3 is what you need. But level 2 is an entry point for you to go into caregiving, mental health, or the public health, or whatever. It's just an entry point, especially for those that don't have the requisite educational background, don't have the background in studying these courses from school or whatever. It gives you an opportunity to find your way into the program. Thank you. Veronica Ihebuzo.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
My name is Veronica Ihebuzo Oshokoya.
Okay.
I'm calling from France.
Okay.
The question for me is more like a concern. The concern is a lot of people, considering what we're going through globally now, are stressed up. They're already mental health candidates. I mean, they're already suffering mental health challenges. What happens when someone is a mental health caregiver and is on assignment taking care of a mental health patient? And is there a way where there is support to monitor, just like in the classroom teaching? There are supervisors who come in to check on those who are teaching. Is there a way to check on mental health caregivers who are, already going through mental health without knowing, and who vent their spleen of their anger and their situation on their patients? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Henry, are you there?
Oh yes, I'm here. I'm just trying to get electricity back, but I can share. Okay, so what happens if someone is experiencing in a situation where he's supposed to provide support. And then, of course, they have to have someone to supervise and all. So number one, we have to know that most organizations fall under this what we call quality assurance standard, which is being provided across all the mental health professions. So we have most organizations who have to get licensed, and of course the employees that they have also have to get licensed to make that support, which PLage will give you the opportunity to do that. So would there be care for the caregiver? I think that's one of the questions you are asking. You know, of course, there are occupational therapists who, that's why we said that the space for mental health is really large, and we all have this opportunity this time, you know, to plunge into that. So there are occupational therapists who can provide therapeutic support to individuals who are experiencing this problem. So a mental health professional could also see a professional. That's what we're trying to say. And they can actually go around in those situations to provide support to them. You know, I have known by experience, this is by experience, that I have been broken, you know, by just hearing people's story. And what do? I have to debrief. You have to get a mentor or a supervisor. There's a mental health supervisor who, you know, stays in that organization and is able to collate people's challenges also as mental health professionals. So you can debrief. I've been traumatized before too by also, you know, what we call secondary trauma, because you are being exposed to people's traumatic experiences. You also can be traumatized. So I have experienced that, and of course, how did I handle it? This is personally, and I can share that I also handled that by debriefing with my supervisor, and my supervisor was able to provide me the support that I need to become well. So a mental health caregiver also can actually seek help when they experience these situations. Most organizations have that structure which is available to help that person. Second question you ask, I know, is hidden around asking if what the care the person is providing is quality care or not. So I said within the framework of the organization, they have quality assurance within their framework, and that's able to support them. Of course, also the mental health professional would be licensed, and I'm sure PLage has that opportunity, you know, to make that happen so that you're able to step into certain terrains or certain countries and obtain the license that are obtainable in those countries. So that can also help you, you know, fall within the standard quality practices that are obtainable in those countries. So I think because of time, I would not go further to explain more.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Henry. I want to believe we've touched on critical areas that matters a lot. And but before we move on to Rebecca Ede, that will be talking about caregivers who intend to relocate, I want to quickly ask this question because I know it's part of what a lot of people would have asked. What are the prospects, career prospects? What are the mental health as I know you mentioned something around there, but you can tell us more about working as a mental health counselor, the career prospects. Is it a profession that is lucrative? Is it something that people should start thinking of going into, especially if they have the passion anyway?
Yeah. So I would say, I would want to even say that don't think about it. Plunge into it. Go into it. This is what is happening now. You know, we are seeing what is happening in the world where we are today. You know, go to families. We need family counselors. You know, I was sharing recently with someone, and I told the person about family therapy. The person was, oh, wow, where can we get that? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to look for organizations that provide family therapy, you know, and to support. There's life skill for children. You will notice that there are a lot of children who lack certain life skills, you know. Children who lack life skills, decision-making skills, problem-solving skills, and all. At the end of the day, they will end up bringing up negative responses of negative behaviors, you know. And of course, we know that happens even in our climes today. So go across the world, you see that. So there's a child counselor that is required, you know, to provide children with the help and support that they need They are persons that experience disability and mental health condition. In fact, most organizations, most NGOs, across the world are mainstreaming mental health. So in all the programs that they have, they mainstream mental health. Go to conservative energy, they mainstream mental health. Go to climate change, they mainstream mental health. There's climate change and mental health. Go into disability, there's mental health. So mental health is a global thing, is emerging, and there's an epidemic in certain countries. So around the world today, you notice people are experiencing mental health. So what are the career paths? There's counselor, there's occupational counselor, like we shared. In most organizations, they will need occupational counseling, someone who can provide counseling to people who are traumatized in those situations. There's also training. So there's a whole lot of space in trainings. People want to gain knowledge of mental health. So you can become a mental health facilitator. You can become a counselor, one-on-one counselor in schools. And we have a lot of institutions across the world. So you can become a school counselor, a mental health counselor in schools, and you can provide support to children in those schools. In hospitals, they need people who have skills in mental health counseling, because they realize that people don't do well because they are struggling with certain conditions that are really difficult for them, and they would need mental health support. So a mental health counselor can be in a hospital and gear the people to become well, and to help them also. Some people who are, especially for people who are experiencing the NTDs today, and all. So people will need help. People will need help, people who have cancer, and somebody just got to know that maybe they have HIV. It's really stressful for them to deal with it. And in hospitals, you can have the opportunity. I've shared about opportunities in research. I've shared about opportunities in advocacy. You don't really need to have you don't need to be a psychologist. You don't need to have to go to study a mental health course or have a mental health degree before you can do a research. You don't need to have that before you can do advocacy. You don't need to have that before you can do before you can become a counselor, because the training that you be provided, and then of course onboarding on board practice would help you become stronger, and you're able to handle. Every case is different, and you will not be able to say, oh, I'm a professional and I can handle all cases perfectly. But as you're exposed and as you grow in the career, you're able to understand, to identify what is anxiety, identify what is depression, and of course, you're able to identify all this. So I would say that the space is really huge, and plunge into it now. Plunge into it now. Don't have the passion. The world is dying, and I think that passion, you can use that passion to save the world, save people who are experiencing mental health conditions.
Thank you very much once again. We are happy with your presentation, and we want to believe that so many persons got all they needed for this program. Rebecca Ede,
thank you for the opportunity.
Share with us. We'll soon come to your terrain and listen to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, may I quickly say that this program is made up of participants from several other countries. We just got some. I see someone is from here from France. Somebody just chatted me up that she is from, or he is from Gambia. We have Ghana and several other countries. So it's really an international program. It has always been like that with PLage Metaverse program. Once again, my name is Dr. Saze Obaseki Osemige. We'll be looking at what you need to know about living the country. Rather than 15 minutes, we are going to give Rebecca 10 minutes, and we have some few minutes more for you to ask your question. Please just listen attentively, because most times we get to hear a lot of things about traveling, which we popularly call Japa. And because of the way she handles hers, I've been very comfortable enough to say, wow, I need to work with her on this and let people get to hear from her. Thank you. Okay, somebody says he's from Canada. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, over to you, Rebecca Ede. You have 10 minutes to tell us about traveling, what people quickly need to know about traveling briefly, and why they should make up their mind about traveling or not traveling at all. Over to you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. You're welcome.
everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Most time are thinking of relocating. Some don't have an idea why they want to relocate. They just hear that, oh, it's better on that side. So I like to relocate as my friends have or my relatives have and other things. But the honest truth is that there is a lot and a lot to do before relocating. One of the first things I ask people is, why do you want to locate? Do you want to school? Do you want to work? Do you want to get more experience, that you need to bring to bear? Okay. Some people want to relocate. First and foremost, they don't have a passport. The first thing you need to have is to have a passport. Okay. I know that in the past month, there has been issues with getting passport, but with the present person there, the present CE, it's getting easier to get passport. You don't need to get people to get your passport. It's very straightforward. It could take you like 3 to 5 days to get your passport. It's the first thing that you need to get. And you need
Okay, madam, your audio is cracking. I think you have network glitch.
get, get some education. She shared her testimonial about and how to.
Well, I think there's an issue with her network. I want to believe she will get it right. Okay. I was just made to understand that we have people from Qatar, New York, Zimbabwe, Gambia. Okay. Okay. Rebecca,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. So she said she studied all the information she got from the level 3 mental health, and that was what gave her an edge during her interview. So you need to have these trainings, because the truth is that if you get employed abroad, you'll still need to be trained before you start any job that you're going to be given. So you need to get the certificate. What about most countries will want you to have the IELTS, either you have the IELTS or you have the ETIS, that's what it's called now. If you're a graduate, you can go to your school and state that you did all your courses in English and pay a fee, and then you get a certificate for that. Or you write the IELTS, and you have to get the least band of 5.5 so that you are able to, it's not just to get the job, you need to have it even for the High Commission. When you're going for your interview, that is required, okay? And then one of the things that is required for everyone is to have the police report. Why do you need the police report? You want to know that you're a good citizen, and then you need to have your TB test ready. Sometimes people say, okay, I wouldn't get the job between that, but then every employer that is trying to employ you need you to have all of this, so that when you have them, you are able to get these things done, okay? And then a lot of times people have issues with getting their certificate of sponsorship. The truth is that there are a lot of companies that are giving certificate of sponsorship. Everybody wants to go to Canada or go to the UK. There are other countries where you can get jobs and you don't need to go through all the stress, and you don't need to pay £10,000, 12,000, 15,000 pounds. Sometimes people do that and they don't even get the jobs, or they tell you, oh, there is a job, you get there, and then everything, it's not sorted out, and then you start looking for a job. It's very important that you have everything properly sorted before you leave. You need to have all your documents properly legalized. If you're married, you should have your marriage certificate. If you have children, make sure that their documents are properly done. Because sometimes these are some of the things we send into the embassy, and then we're rejected. And then we're wondering, why did they reject us? Some of these things are not properly done. If you're going to do the care job, either it's a domiciliary care, or you're going to live in a home, to take care of people and all of that. One of the things that I tell people to do is to get an international driver's license, so that when you go there, you can drive. Before you go to do your interview or read for your test and then do your interview, your driving test for the UK or other nationals and other countries where you're going to be going to. So these are very, very vital things. Okay, a lot of people travel and they're just like, okay, I'm traveling. What do I need? You need to have proof of funds. A lot of people are being sent back because, if you're going to go abroad now, you're not going to get a job immediately. We have seen people on the street, we have seen people, everywhere, and it's not palatable what we see. Okay, so what do you need to do? You need to have proof of funds. A lot of people have been turned back at the airport because they don't have proof of funds to show that they have money that they can use. It's required that you have at least 1,200,000 pounds in your account that you can meet your immediate need. Don't go empty without any money, because they just feel like, okay, you're going to be one of those that are going to be littering the streets, And then when you get there and these things are not there, like Mr. Henry was talking about, you start having mental issues, you become irritable, you start snapping and all of that. That is not very important, if we get all of these things prepared and have them handy, okay? I tell people, please, when you are planning to travel, get a skill, get additional skill. Everything is high everywhere. It is high everywhere. So get an additional skill. So the days that you're not working, you can make hair. I've been to the US, I've been to the UK, and I make monies from making hair. $50, 50 pounds, 100 and something dollars, 100 and something pounds, to make people's hair. You can cook food, and do other things that are legitimate that you can make extra monies from, So please have a skill, learn something. If it's something, if this, so I remember once I went to the States, I carried some clothes, and I was able to sell things, what about $4,000? So get things that you can sell that, you have monies for, okay? Then you go to either UK or US. Please, when you are going, a lot of us travel, and what we do, we stock our bags with things that we don't need. You just need a few pair of clothes. The remaining, just pack food in your bag the moment you have an opportunity to travel. Carry food that might last you for about 3 months. If you're going with your family, just get them a few clothes. By the time you get there and you make this money, you will be able to buy more clothes than you can imagine. So don't stuff your bags with your clothes. Just take a few that you can use there, and then all the others will be things you will need. Food. The truth is that our food abroad is quite expensive, and honestly, things have gone quite high abroad right now. So it's very important that you try to leverage on this. If you're traveling, carry food stuff, if it's excess, you can even sell to people around, let your friends know that you have excess of theirs and you can sell to them. Okay, so these are some of the things that we need to know before traveling. And let me be honest with us, when we go and we're looking for care jobs, the care jobs, you're going to care for maybe old people, you're going to care for young people, people having mental issues, people who are having, all kinds of problems. There is the thing of trust. People will trust you, but they won't trust you at the immediate point that you are meeting them. You have to earn that trust with the people. We've seen a lot of people where they steal the client's money, they steal other things from their credit card and all of that. That's giving us a bad name. Or some people get the COS and they don't go to do the jobs. The honest truth is that there are other jobs that you can do. It must not
I think we've lost her. Let's hold on a bit. Let's hope she will be able to reconnect.
big care. You understand? So there are other certificates. Please don't just go through the case.
Okay, I think we're having serious issues, network issues from her end. Just give us some few minutes. I hope she will be able to reconnect back. Okay. Oh, okay. While we wait for her, we might just have to pen down our questions so that when she comes up, she'll be able to respond to us. But I want to believe she has made a lot of progress, giving us information on what we need to do. We're going to have a very robust session where we will have a step-by-step approach on how to apply for COS and programs like that. Initially, we've been shying away from doing this for some certain reasons. Don't want to get involved in the issues of people traveling or not. But we also noticed that because of the number of students that have taken these courses with us, mental health level 2, level 3, caregiver level 2, level 3, public health level 2, level 3, we are having quite a large number of people taking these courses with us, and it will just not be fair not to guide them. Yeah, we might not really go into procuring this COS or whatever for you, but we should be able to guide our students so that they will be able to make informed decisions at every point in time, because so many also have they've fallen into the hands of wrong hands and made wrong decisions that they end up regretting. So our effort, our own contribution here is to direct every student that passes through our program. And that is going to be for every student that must have done courses with us, starting from last year or last 2 years back. We're going to combine everybody and bring up the program. While it might be impossible from all indication to get Rebecca Ede back. Okay, I think she's around. Okay. Okay, Rebecca Ede, you can unmute yourself. Welcome back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You
you.
took me out again. Okay, I'm sure we've heard all the things that I've said, so it's very important that we have all this available, and then we'll be able to do the best that we can do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Haruna Ibrahim, you might have to wait for that event that is going to come up. We don't have all the time this night to say so much, but we just want to use every opportunity to just give out what we can give out. So we don't have all the time, please. Yeah. Before we answer questions, take questions, I want to remind us that this is level 2 and it's covering level 2 mental health, public health, and caregivers for everybody. Whether you are doing public health alone, this is going to be very important for you or to you. And we also want to let you know that we can authoritatively say you can apply for a job even from Nigeria with level 3, not with level 2. However, we also have cases where people out there in other countries use the level 2 to somehow have an advantage in getting a job. We are not in control of anybody getting a job, or who gets a job, who doesn't get a job, who accepts the certificate, who doesn't accept the certificate. But what you are telling you is that level 3 qualifies you to apply for a job from here, especially if you're applying for a COS or a care job abroad. Level 3 can easily do that for you. We know that. And we encourage you to do your level 3 after your level 2. However, for those coming into the profession for the first time, which is an entry point for them, you are most welcome, and we say congratulations because you started your journey into becoming a caregiver or mental health counselor. We'll just take some few questions and then let Rebecca respond to them. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Yes, any question? May I also remind you that this program is being recorded so that we can send it to class later.
Okay. I just see a few questions popping up.
Okay, but we have to be selective of what we respond to here because we don't have all the time.
Okay.
That's why I'm just trying to be selective. Yeah, because we are going to have a very full, very full session with 3-4 hours with you. We're going to fix a date for that, where you really go into details about everything, where people can get jobs apart from UK and Canada, other countries where they don't necessarily need to pay so much. We're going to have time for that, but this is just to sensitize people and let them know that there is good news everywhere. Everywhere, there's just good news everywhere. So just relax, be happy, keep in touch with us. But one thing you must need to understand is that anytime you are with PLage, you can be sure that you will be making serious progress in your life. Okay, Solomon David Ekpeyon, please, your question should just be 30 seconds, straight to the point, and over.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, Mara. I want to throw this question to the Mrs. Rebecca Ebe, the relocation agent. Please, my question goes this way. You talked, Lord, I was so very interested in all what you've said, because I kind of have taken some certain things down here because of my pen and my book. But I think because of the network that cut you short, you just cut short the discussion, and I was like, oh God, what's this now? Please, can you throw more light on the relocation processes? Like you mentioned TV tests. I didn't heard you mention COVID-19. You mentioned police report, birth certificate. I think that one should be inclusive, things like that. International driver's license. I was so very shocked when you mentioned of international driver's license. Is it that very necessary?
Mr. Solomon, please just go straight to your question. What is the question precisely so that she can respond?
Okay. I have two questions. The first is, what is this? What is COS? So you mentioned COS. I don't really know the full meaning of COS. And for Rebecca, my question goes this way, please. Is a request. Can you throw more light on the processes of relocation and which other countries we can relocate to that is very, very easy for us, apart from the UK and the Canada?
Mr. Solomon, please, I just read up something here. Somebody said some of the hosts are rude. They respond to people that are far older than themselves, the host or whatever. Please, we are in a public space, and I think we need to understand that there are some basic expectations from everybody. And we have close to 850 persons here, and every person here has a right to ask questions and be responded to. So when we ask questions, we should remember that people are on the queue. When we talk, we should remember that people are on the queue. And when we
I'm not referring to you.
when we ask questions that have been answered already, we should also understand that we are eating into other people's time. Now, we said here already that we are going to have a session, just some few seconds ago, that we are going to have a session that is going to be like 4 hours or so for everybody to have full time with Rebecca Ede. And then you will have, in fact, you might not even need to ask questions because you have a full load of everything. She might not have all the time. It's just after 9 now. We are supposed to have been through by 9. But she has given us this assurance that beyond Canada and UK, apart from countries that you have to pay £10,000 and whatever, there are countries you don't even need to pay. I think that is gladdening enough. So it's just for you to hold on and say, okay, when is the date? It's going to be announced. We have your email, we have your phone number. Everybody's going to get that information. So maybe, Rebecca, you want to tell him about COS. For knowledge sake, he wants to know about COS.
Okay, COS is Certificate of Sponsorship. So if a company is hiring you, they will give you a certificate of sponsorship. That is required at the High Commission for your interview or your documentation. Okay, so it's not, you don't see a paper, it's a number, and it can be verified. So if you have a number, a COS that is not verifiable, please don't take it. A lot of people have entered into trouble getting COS that are not verified. I hope that answers your question. And for the international driver's license, it's not mandatory, but it will help your job and it will help your chances of getting the job too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca Ede. Once again, this program is being recorded. Please, I think there are things I've mentioned several times here. People are still posting here in the chat box if it's going to be recorded. I've said it over and over and over. This program is being recorded and it's going to be sent to the classroom. And for the test, yes, we've extended it to cover 2 days, 3 days for you to take your test. So you have today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, 6 p.m. to take your test. So rather than giving you just 2 hours to take your test, we are giving you enough time to settle down, take your test, pass it, and get your certificate. As much as possible, we'll try to make sure we don't make life difficult for anybody in PLage Metaverse. We make everybody very comfortable, but you need to do your part. You also need to do your part because we've posted messages in the group on WhatsApp that people still come here to ask about, which means either they did not bother to read the message in the WhatsApp group, or I don't know if maybe the WhatsApp group is not really important, but you need to do your part. We've been doing our part. We might not just be perfect, but we've been doing our part. Starting from the cost of the program, we've been doing our part. Starting from going to the delivery, the quality of delivery, bringing in experts to talk to you, going out of our way to even give you things that are not even part of the program. We've been doing our part, and we'll consistently do our part. We'll keep doing our part as long as we are Africans. We'll make sure that we give Africans the best. But please, we also beg you that you do your part. Read up messages, understand messages. Someone has been calling me almost 7 times. I've been cutting the call because I'm in a program, but she insists on calling, and only for me to pick, and she said she was thrown out of the Zoom. You know, things like that are things that are not supposed to be happening. Please, so let's also understand that like in this program, I've shut down some persons. I had to take out 1 or 2 persons. You don't sleep, you don't lie down on a program like this. You sit on your chair or your whatever and face the camera. If you don't want to put on your camera, fine, you put it off. But when your camera is on, you don't lie down and listen to your lecturer. It's not like you're in a classroom in a university and you're lying down on your bed and your lecturer is standing and teaching. It's wrong. You don't sit down on your dining and you're eating and listening to the program. It's wrong. It's very, very wrong. You don't dress somehow, you are not properly dressed and you're on this program. These things are wrong. These are things you need to also understand, not only on PLage Metaverse program, in any other program you are having online. Please, these are things you need to understand. Let's make it a standard practice. You don't just put your whatever, leave your speaker on and there's noise all over, disturbing every other person. These are basic things we need to know. And I also want to believe that it will also rub off on you when you're applying for jobs abroad, because these things will matter. We have a course called a digital healthcare, where you have to learn some digital skills in carrying out your healthcare operations or whatever. These things are very, very key. They are becoming life skills that make or mar your opportunity in excelling in the international circle. Yes, it may not matter now, but when you get up there, these little things matters a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca Ede. Let me take just 2 more questions and we'll call it a day from here.
All right.
Princess Ibeneme.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the lecture, and thank you for making us know about requirements needed for to travel out. But I would like to be, I wasn't here quite as in, I wasn't here. I want to know about the WHO and the UNICEF certification that we were told we'll be giving. I want to know about it.
Okay.
Are we still
okay.
after the course?
I've got your question. Now, we did not say we are going to give you the certificate.
Yeah.
We said we're going to guide you to be able to take the course or courses with them and get it. Now, like I just mentioned, you came in for level 2 mental health, but we've also public health or what? Okay, mental health, public health, caregivers for everybody. We've also come to realize that we need so much because the competition is high up there. There's so much competition too. So we've gone out of our way to say, okay, we are going to give you links to be able to do some mental health, caregivers, or public health related courses, child support, child care, child protection, and all these courses. We will do them with UNICEF, WHO, and we're also going to send you a link to be able to do a CPD program with Debbie University. They're going to give you these 3 links. Now, it's up to you to click on these links and study. They are all free. The certificates are going to be direct from UNICEF and WHO. It's going to be direct from Debbie University. For Debbie University, is going to give you some CPD points direct from your university, and you can actually use it with the university itself. So, and they are totally free. Now, when this program is finished, as soon as you're getting your certificate, these links will be there, right there in your email. We advise that you take advantage of this, get these certificates, add it to the level 2 you have, and you'll be miles ahead of people that started with you without all this. These are some of the things we enjoy doing courses with us, not just the one you paid for. And we're always going to be providing you a guide like what we are doing now with Rebecca Ede. We'll be providing you excellent guides to move up to the next level. We're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. That'll be all.
Yeah. God bless you. I said one more. Look, let me get a mail so I can balance it up. Tomiwa Akintude. I hope you are email, Tomiwa.
Yes, I am.
Very good.
Thank you very much, sir, Amma, for this program. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I got this information. I just said, let me clarify. Now, how do we move on to that level 3? I did public level 2. What exactly how do we access that level 3 certificate?
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure you came in through one of our trainers or facilitators. You're going to get informed by one of them. We are going to send you emails that level 2, level 3 is available. You're going to get emails, you're going to get text messages and things like that. So all you just need to do, just watch out for that. Definitely you'll be communicated with that. From next year, we'll be sending you emails about huge opportunities, volunteering opportunities with United Nations and things like that. So, sir, you can be rest assured that you are home and dry with information. Yeah. I hope I've answered your question, Mr. Tomiwa.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. Well appreciated.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Okay. How long from now are we to register for level 3? Well, we've not fixed a date yet, but very soon, very soon. Can I get a remote job in public health? It's very likely. Those are some of the things we'll be sending to you. So you just go and apply. Yeah, go and apply. But we can assure you that there are huge opportunities out there that most people don't know about. We'll be getting it across to you very soon. And mind you, all the jobs will be sending your way. Please don't waste time to apply. We make sure that every single job that we send your way or that is posted in your class or on our website are actually verified by the United Nations. So we don't just go around looking for adverts from a post. Whenever you see us posting adverts, that's why most times we don't post adverts. We rarely post adverts, but when we do, you can be sure that you just need to apply. Okay. Thank you all once again. God bless you all. My name is Dr. Sazeo Basekio Semege. We had Rebecca Ede and Mr. Henry Ojenya who did justice to topics on mental health and gave us reasons why we need to go into mental health practice as mental health counselors, and why you need to understand that you don't need a degree, just start from somewhere. Actually, now that you even have a level 2, and we also listened to Rebecca Ede that talked to caregivers who just completed their program about to get their certificates, and how in case they want to travel, all of these things they need to know. However, we also said we are going to have a very special time with her to give us full rundown on what you need to know to be able to travel, so that you'll be guided and from making mistakes and falling into wrong hands. I think we've made this program a loaded one, over and above what we all expected. And I want to believe that it's a good thing for us ending the year this way with you on the case of healthcare courses. Thank you. God bless you all. See you in the class. We're going to send a link for your test. That'll be between now and Tuesday to complete your test. And then once you do that, we'll be processing your certificate from Wednesday. We'll just wait for you to complete the test. But please, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, it will be over and out for those taking the test. So for those of you that can't take it today, you have tomorrow. If you can't take it tomorrow, you have Tuesday till 6 p.m. I think we've been considerate enough. Thank you. God bless you all, and have a good night. See you in the class and start your test.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.